What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the man, the Imperfect Action Show. I'm your guy, Brendan Boyd, and on today's show, we had a guest, but the guest wanted to reschedule, which is fine. So she's gonna be here next week. So I'm gonna be giving you some gems on webinars. So, as you guys know, the Imperfect Action Show, we talk about marketing principles, strategy, lessons, all to help you guys level. We do it 100% for free. So, without further ado, why don't we pretty much get into it? But actually, hold on. Before we do that, a couple things I need to do. Number one, I need to send a text community. I need to send a text to my community and let them know that we're live talking about these webinar gems. And then also, I want to let you guys know August 19th and 20th is the Imperfect Action Con in LA. Link will be below. And also, you also want to join my text community 213-410-4920. 213-410-4920. You definitely want to just text the word imperfect. Text imperfect to 213-410-4920. We are live talking about webinar gems. Okay, cool. So let me just drop this real quick. Bang. And welcome to my Action Takers community. Love you guys. Welcome back to the show. You know we're here every day, 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern Pacific Standard Time. Why would I say Eastern? It's 12:30 over there. Pacific Standard Time, and we're just giving a lot of value. And on today's episode, what I wanted to do was just give you guys a lot of gems. So there's a lot of people that are making a lot of moves with webinars, and that might be something that you want to do. Like, how can you take what information that you have and put together a masterclass or webinar and share that information to not only provide a information for someone, but also put you in a position to get more clients, sell more things, and also make some money, right? You can make some money in an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours from a live webinar. So I want to give you guys some vital things that you should have in your webinar. And I took some notes. I'm going to put them right here so it'll be easy for me to read to you guys and share with you guys. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 things, 6 essential things that you want to do to make sure that your webinars are in the best position as possible for you to for you to monetize. So let me put it right here. Webinar gems. All right, I'm gonna drop all 6 in the chat below. If you guys are first coming on, welcome, 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 welcome. Share this live out with other people. Have them jump on. Let's share in the conversation. Let's get to it. All right. So number 1, whatever you're teaching, you want to make sure you have right here overwhelming social proof. So you want to make sure that whatever you're teaching, if you are your own testimonial or review, you have multiple things you could show how you have success. If you already have put this method out there in the marketplace, you want to make sure you're showing other reviews from clients, right? Other reviews from clients, testimonials from clients, because that's going to be, it's going to amount to overwhelming social proof, which is going to be easier to edify your method and what you're teaching, right? Number two, you want to make sure that you get video testimonials, right? So we talked about the social proof, but how do you want the social proof to be, right? Well, you want the social proof. I mean, if you can get text messages, if you can get emails, if you can get screenshots, definitely get those things, because those things work. But you definitely want to make sure that you are able to grab video testimonials. You definitely want to make sure that you get video testimonials. Video testimonials is definitely something that you definitely want to grab, right? Because video testimonials are going to help you make it easier to sell the product or service. Because think about this. Think about it like this. If I am someone, right? Let's say I'm somebody that wants to learn about what you're going to teach me, right? I'm somebody that's going to learn about you, that wants to learn about what you're going to teach me. this method sounds like it's a good method. It sounds like something that's very interesting, but I'm just unsure. I'm not really sure if I believe in myself that I could do it. So that means I'm not really sold on you because I don't believe it in myself. But if I'm scrolling down, right, your website, and I see a video testimonial of John, Sarah, Steve, Mark, Bill, whomever, and they're talking about that they did your method and it worked for them, that's going to 100% make me feel more comfortable so that it may work for me. So the more video testimonials that you can get on a win from your strategy, from what you're teaching, from your tactics, your formula, your process, right? That's going to make it easier for someone who's on to get them to sign up for that webinar, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you have video testimonials. Okay, number 3, this is a cheat code right here. Live testimonials, right? Let's write that in here. Live testimonials. So what does that mean? Okay, so let's say you have already ran your webinar in the past. Let's say you had some success either in the previous webinar from clients that took advantage of it, or maybe you have some examples of clients that you helped in real life with your process, right? So you do the webinar, you invite these people to the webinar, right? That have already, done the thing that have already done the thing that you're teaching, have already been through your program, or whatever the case may be. You invite them to the webinar and then have pockets of time where you're asking, hey, listen, would you come on and give a testimony? What was your experience? That will 100% change the energy and the mood for anyone going through your process for the very first time. And they're going to be like, wow, this person's here right now. And they're giving their own honest assessment and their own review of what actually happened when they were actually, going through this process. That's going to make them 100% want to buy in to the thing that you provide, right? So number 4, right? Here's another thing you could do for webinars, right? You want to make sure that you have some type of payment plan option. Let's write that down. Because now whether your upsell at the end of the webinar is a low ticket, whether it's a mid ticket, or a high ticket. So mid ticket's I would say maybe like a 97, kind of like mid. It's not really that high. Low ticket might be a 47, 97. And obviously high ticket might be 4,000, 5,000 and up. So let's say on that mid level, even a high level, you don't have a payment plan option. Well, what that's going to do is it's going to make it harder for people to buy into your product or service, right? They may really want to get into it, but maybe they only have enough for a deposit. They don't have the whole amount available to them, right? They don't have credit. You're not offering financing. There's no terms or anything like that. But if you start to offer a payment plan option, that's going to be able to 5 to 10x the sales that you do, because now more people can take advantage of your upsell at the end of the webinar, right? So number 4 is you definitely want to make sure you have a payment plan option. Number 5 is have a virtual assistant or a physical assistant. What does that mean? Whatever works for you. You can have somebody that's actually on the webinar with you that maybe they're in another room, but they're here, right? Maybe they're in your studio, whatever the case may be, and they're just working things behind the scenes. Or maybe you hire a virtual assistant that's going to come on and they're doing the same thing, but they're in a whole nother state, in a whole nother country. You guys are locked in. So what are some of the things that the virtual assistant is going to do, right? The virtual assistant, so they can actually submit links, right? They can let people in and out. If someone is not, someone's being kind of rowdy, they can remove them. If you have breakout rooms, they can put those together. They can set the room. They can introduce you. They can acknowledge when, okay, guys, we're going to take a break real quick. All right, we're moving on to this segment. So they can do all the things to make it easier for you to just focus on teaching and sharing and helping them get that transformation. Your virtual assistant can literally set everything up and make it run a little bit more smooth. So I've done webinars, workshops, and challenges where I didn't have one, and I worked webinars, workshops, and challenges when I did have a virtual assistant. And let me tell you, the virtual assistant makes it so much more easier and makes it able to flow. So Chenja says, what program or site do you do webinars on? That's a good question. So I think one of the easiest, so I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna give you two. These are two that I've used. Definitely Zoom. Zoom is great for that. Zoom is really really good for that. I think Zoom is definitely probably the number one place for that. And the other one that I use is Webinar Jam. So Webinar Jam is also really really good. Webinar Jam also allows you to do automated webinars. So after you do the webinar, you can then do the automated webinar via Ever webinar, which is a part of Webinar Jam, and then you can actually have that webinar running automated. So that's something else we'll probably talk about in a future episode. So as far as 1 minute per slide, what I would say to you, Chandra, is it's not about the time, it's about the value. So like, depending on how many slides you have and depending on how much time you're giving for the webinar, you could probably like pace yourself and give yourself a lot of time to make sure you have enough time to cover everything. But it's not really about the time, it's about the value. And sometimes if you go a little bit over it because you're giving massive value, people appreciate that. Like I know I was looking at a workshop that I was in. I was just looking at the playback, and then I actually remember that wow, this dude really went over the time, right? It was really only supposed to be an hour and a half. He did 3.5 hours of lessons. And when you look back at him, it's like, wow, he really over delivered, right? So I'd say, maybe your workshop or webinar might be 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Maybe you got 10 to 12 slides in there, whatever the case may be. Just deliver the value. Again, it's never really about the time. It's always about the value that's spent. Because if you get a lot of value, especially massive value, people are going to want to stay. All right, and then number 6, right? This is also a cheat code. Play testimonial. Excuse me. Play testimonial video at the end of the webinar. Okay, so at the end of the webinar, you're going to be in a position to upsell, right? Upsell your product or your service, or whatever you want them to go to that next level, whatever the next level is. And you've already did some social proof in the beginning. Maybe you have some people come on live and talk about their experiences, either in this particular program or just dealing with you in a previous program, right? You have some live testimonial action, right? So what you want to do is at the end of the video, right when you give your pitch, leave the webinar on, leave the room open. You just get out of the room, right? And you or your virtual assistants, you guys can play a testimonial video loop. So you still have your link there so people can actually click the link and they can ascend and they can purchase that thing. But then also you have that video looping. So then that way, people that are still in the room, they can 100% listen to more reviews, more testimonials, and they can get that extra little push over the side of the fence or whatever the case is, right? So they can then purchase your product and service. Like, so if you set up these 6 things, I'm telling you, your webinar, your next webinars will definitely, you'll definitely see a dramatic change, because I've implemented these 6 things in the very beginning at different times, like, and then at some point I did them all together. But just with the testimonials, the social proof, adding that virtual assistant, having some live people coming in edifying, like live, and then running that playback, I definitely was able to get more sales, like 100%. So if you are thinking about putting a webinar together, these are some gems that will help you set it up very advantageously, right? If you have already done webinars or workshops or live events and you have one coming up, implement these 6 strategies in it. Like, plan it out with these 6 strategies also included, and then definitely get back to me, leave me a comment below or DM me. You're definitely 100% going to see a change in what's going on with your webinar. So how long should the webinar be? Like 45 minutes to 60 minutes. And again, you guys, I don't want you guys to get caught up on time, right? Like, value. Just worry about delivering the value. So if you're delivering the value and that value takes you 45 minutes, cool. If you're delivering the value and you said 45 minutes, but then you ends up being 60, people are gonna appreciate the extra 15 minutes. I think that if you're gonna do a webinar with someone, like if you're gonna collab, I would allot 60 to 90 minutes. That's probably a good amount of time. Just face it, we mentioned that but a little second ago. You may have missed it. I'll just drop it on. So Zoom is a great platform. Let me see. Webinar platform. Let me see. Webinar platforms. Okay. So I'm gonna listen below. So Zoom is a good one. So Zoom right there. Boom. And then I would also use. There's a bunch of them. I'm just gonna let you know ones that I've used that I have success with. There's definitely Webinar Jam. And then if you ever want to do an automated webinar, then I would go Ever Webinar. But Ever Webinar is the same company as Webinar Jam. So we got another question. Actually, I forgot I could do this. Let me pop it up on there. What is your follow-up strategy afterwards? Do you know who has a webinar if done one Zoom? Do you know who was on? Oh, okay? Do I know who was on the webinar if I did on Zoom? Okay. So let me break this down. All right. So the follow-up strategy, you can follow up several different ways. If they opted in through text, you got that number. If they opted in through if they opt in through email, you got your email. If you put together like a lead page or a funnel page, right? You're gonna capture their name, number, and email for them to get in. So now, a couple things can happen. You can have it already set up on the back end, right? So that as soon as the next day is 24 hours later, they're gonna get a follow-up email. 40 hours later, they're gonna get a follow-up email. 72 hours later, they're gonna get a follow-up email. Like we can set all those emails up to happen automatically, and or you can follow with them manually. It all depends. So let's say you had about let's say you had about 10 people coming to the webinar. And of those 10 people, let's say 4 people bought, right? So now you got 6 people that didn't buy. Now you can then follow up with them with the nurture sequence of automated emails that you already pre-set up, or you could follow with them manually on those emails too, or text, right? Or you can set up a phone call. It all depends. If it's high ticket, I'll probably nurture them with emails and then have a book a call situation that they could book a call if they want to actually get on your calendar. And that's also something else you can add to the virtual assistant to do. They can also follow up on your behalf, and then they can have them book a call if it sounds like they're interested in going to the next level. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that. So your follow-up strategy should both be a mix of text message and email, and potentially a phone call if if the product or service is a higher ticket and it's warranting a phone call, right? Another thing that you could do, what I tend to do, especially for my clients that launch products, right, like books and stuff like that, what I say to them is, you can then follow up with them maybe like 3 weeks of a month later and be like, hey, if you purchase this product, I'm doing a special pop-up only for the people that purchase this product. And then you can kind of put them through another webinar or just another live event and then upsell at the end of that. And that's super easy because if you have something that you want to teach, you can teach that. If you don't have nothing specific, you can just take something from that product or service and then kind of give a little bit more details and go a little bit more deeper and more specific on a product or service. So Just Face It asks, Jasmine, how often should I host a webinar? Well, Jazz, I say host one every freaking week. You should have a webinar once a week. So the reason why I say this, and it's really like, and this is what one of my mentors talks about too. It's like, how often do you want to get paid? How often do you want money to come in, right? How often do you want to be able to impact people? How often do you want to get your message out there? So like tomorrow is starting my end of the year push, right? There's 6 months left in the year. So my end of the year push is a webinar every Friday. So I'm going to be doing webinars on, basically a business accelerator, right? My marketing authority accelerator, right? Every Friday. I'm either going to mix between that and then a book launch, right? The digital product elite webinar. Like, I'm going to just go back and forth between those two. So you could run 100%, or if you have two messages that you kind of want to teach, you could toggle forth. It's really just about having that presence, because you want to build, you want to build up, right, that muscle and build up that findability, so that the people that come to your webinar, you want them to send other people. You want to keep promoting that you're going to be here, and you guys know the algorithm isn't your friend, so you have to beat the algorithm by being consistent, right? And word of mouth travels more than anything. So if they know that, wow, Jazz has this fire webinar, saying, about cosmetics or whatever the case may be, like, you have to come. Actually, I'm gonna go back. She got a free option and a VIP option. I did a free option last time. I'm gonna do the VIP option this time, and you have to come. She does it every Friday for an hour. It's fire. Like by the time you get from now to the end of the year, you're gonna be a webinar pro. Your following is gonna grow, and most likely every Friday or whenever you do it, you're gonna make a sale. Why would you not want to do it every day? I mean, not every day, every week, right? You're going to make a sale. But every week, every 2 weeks, every month, I say every week, every 2 weeks, because you're only benefiting, right? Every month, I feel like maybe a little bit too far if you're, definitely if you're looking to get some momentum and make some more money, right? Change is saying, are you saying different webinars every week, different topics? No, I'm not saying that. I think you should master a topic and be known for that. I just have two different, there's two things that I can offer. I know people want to launch books, and they know that they want to make money through books and make money through digital products. So I'm doing that. And then at the same time, I know that people need to get the business structured, and I know that they need to learn marketing and, get their sales, stuff like that. So for me, it's like I could do both, because those are like part of my offer. So I just took something from here and took something from here, and I'm putting both out. So, and then let's say after about 2 months, if I do 2 months, that's about 2, 4, 6, that's about right. That's about 4 times I've done both. So then I can look at the analytics after about 2 months. I can be like, okay, it looks like more people are really digging the ebook webinar versus, the marketing authority business building webinar. And then I can just double down on that. It's just something I'm doing, right? Because I'm constantly testing. So I would say just pick one and then just go all in with that one. Guys, real quick, share this link out with somebody. Comment the word done. Share it out to somebody. Comment the word done. Share it out with somebody. Comment the word done. This has been the Imperfect Action Show every single day. Marketing strategy topic, business strategy a topic, and it's completely for free for you guys. I appreciate you. Okay, Stacy's asking, can do a theme for the month and pick topics within the theme. I mean, I don't know. I think that's a little bit too difficult. I would just really just have I would have a solid webinar, because you don't want to confuse yourself. This may be the first time you've actually done the webinar yourself, right? I would have a solid webinar with solid slides. If you want to get some visuals on there, and I would drill it down myself. Like, I know this webinar, I know this product, and I know this service, right? And then I would be good on my upsell. What you can do week to week is you could bring in a guest. You could rotate the guests. But if you're just starting a webinar, I would not change my themes unless you know for sure that you know your content in and out. For somebody that's just starting a webinar from scratch, or maybe you've done one before, but you haven't really done it with consistency, I would just do one webinar, and I would get as good as possible. Because there's so many components. Like, I gave you guys some gems on how to make the webinar better, but we haven't talked about webinar structure, which is probably another Imperfect Action Show that I do, webinar structure, right? We can definitely go over that. because one, you got to have energy. Energy is what's going to transfer more than anything. So you have to be excited about your products and services, right? Actually, I'm gonna write this down too because I'm gonna go over this. So number one, you gotta have energy, right? Number two, you gotta know your stuff. You have to know your stuff. You gotta know your stuff. Number three, you gotta pace yourself, right? You gotta pace yourself. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's number three. Number four, you definitely have to make sure you have good slides and or great information. So why did I say and or great information? Because I don't want you to feel like we got a little. It's frozen over here. I think we froze. Okay, we back. I don't want you to feel like, oh, my slides aren't pretty, or my slides aren't sliding, or my slides are not dope, so I'm not going to do the webinar. The information is way more important than the slides. So that's why I said number four is good slides and or great information. Because if you have great information, just do regular basic slides. Who cares? White on black, black on white. If your slides are aesthetically nice, if you're good at that, or you can pay somebody to do it, or you got a friend that's a designer, or you just get some slide templates, that's cool too because people like nice looking things. But the information is way more important. You know what I'm saying? It's way more important. So that's number four. And then number five, I'm giving you guys a bonus right here. It's like two shows in one. Number five, you want to be confident. Confident. You want to be confident from your ability to be on a virtual stage. You want to be confident and competent in what you're teaching and sharing. And number six is you want to have an upsell. So you want to have an upsell that's unwavering. So what does that mean? So you want to have an upsell that's unwavering. So you want to have an upsell at the end that you are not willing to discount just because you're not getting sales. It's a confidence thing. So what I'm saying is, now I'm saying don't not offer a really good price. You know what I'm saying? So let's say your product is 5K, and if they're on the webinar right now, they can get it for 3K. You know what I'm saying? So it's 5K, but if they're on the webinar now, they can get it for 3K. Well, let's say nobody's taking the offer. I don't want you to be like, all right, guys, well, I mean, we'll do it for 2. Like, no, you have to be confident. I learned this a lot over my years because we feel like, oh, people not buying, it's the price. It's not the price, it's the value, and it's your confidence to convey what you're offering. That's what it is. So when I say, hey, I got a 4-month program and it's 20K, I'm not saying I got a 4-month program and it might be this amount. It's 20K. Nah, it's confidently, I got a 4-month program, it's 20K. I got an accelerator program and it's available for 3K. Some of you guys may have been pricing low, so you're afraid to be pricing at a higher level. You know what I'm saying? So just be unwavering, be unwavering in your upsell. Chandra, thank you so much. Okay. Number 6. Since you dropped it, I appreciate that. Number 6, you want to let me see if I can say it. Let me see if there's a cool way for me to say it. Pack and stack, stack and pack. Oh, okay. There's no cool for me. There's no cool way for me to say it right now. Number 6 is going to be stack your offer. So at the end of the webinar, you want to give them something that is super valuable. You want to give them something that is let's say 10x the value of the price. So you're able to do that. You're like, okay, it's going to include this, and this costs X. It's going to include this costs Y. It's going to include this costs Z. It's going to include this. So basically, stack and show the prices. So when you get to the bottom, it'll probably say, "Hey, all of this is worth $12,000." You know what I mean? This is all worth $12,000. But today only, if you buy right now, you can get it all for $24.97. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to stack your offers, and you want to show that the value exceeds the price like 10 times, or that the value just exceeds the price in general. So it looks like the price that you're offering them is of value, and it is of value, but you just need to show them that because people need to see things. Okay, so you guys pretty much got two shows in one. So yeah, let's go through it real quick. So, webinar gems, overwhelmed with social proof, number one. Get video testimonials, number two. Live testimonials, number three. Offer a payment plan, number four. Have a virtual assistant, number five. And loop your testimonial videos at the end. Also, when it comes to webinar structure, these 6 things will help you out too. Let me see. And shout out to Chandler from dropping in the chat. But you want to have energy? Bring the energy, yo. What up, y'all? Welcome to today's webinar. We're about to get busy. I'm super excited that you are here with me today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to bring the energy. You need to be excited because you need to transmute that energy to the people so they're excited as well as you. You don't want to be in there like, hey, guys, what's up? I want to teach you guys about, how to handle procrastination. Like, they're not going to be excited at all. Like, they're going to probably get out of there. So you need to bring the energy. Number two, know your stuff. You need to know your stuff. Not much I can say about that. You just need to know your stuff. Number three, pace yourself. Pace yourself in the delivery. Number four, good slides and or great information. Lean more on the great information. Slides could be secondary to that. Be confident. That's the next one. Definitely be confident, like exude confidence. Next one is upsell. Have an upsell that's unwavering. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have an upsell that's unwavering. Number 7, stack your offer. And number 8's a bonus. I'll give you guys this one. Have a Q&A. Have a Q&A session. Take depends on how many people there. You can't answer everyone's questions, but have a Q&A session. That's number 8. At the top for webinar gems, you know what? I'm gonna add one more. I can't not give you guys this one. If you want to get a little bit more out of revenue out of the front end of your webinar, I would add a VIP. Have a VIP option, and then with the VIP option, give them access to some private Q&A time, 30, 45, 60 minutes of Q&A time, and then give them a bonus. Like, you don't need more than the Q&A time because it's really just one-on-one. But, like my webinar tomorrow is completely free. But those that want the VIP, VIP is going to come with, VIP is $97. It's going to come with 45 minutes of Q&A. You can ask me whatever on said topic or whatever's going on with you. And then also you're going to get a copy of my new book. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a bonus. Jazz, just so you know, the Q&A and the VIP option, Q&A and VIP option, those are going to go into the webinar gym section at the beginning of this episode, not in the structure section. I mean, technically, Q&A could also be in structure, so I guess you can put that in both. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions before we say goodbye today. And it's been an amazing episode of Imperfect Action. I kind of like how, when guests decide last minute that they can't make it or something happens, and then it forces me to come up with something to share with you guys ASAP. I like to kind of be under the gun. Like, I decided to share with you guys webinar gems literally 5 minutes before 9:30. And I was like, yeah, this is it. Did you guys let me know in the chat if you felt like this was valuable. If this was valuable, let me know in the chat. I would really want to know if this was valuable information. Just let me know in the chat. If you got a lot out of today, let me know, because I'll continuously make sure that I provide the value to you guys. I appreciate you. Chan just says, what about automated webinars? So automated webinars is something else we could talk about. It's not a gym or a structured thing, but it's a way for you to get time back. And then once you are able, right, to successfully and confidently have a consumer journey, which is something we'll talk about tomorrow, with your webinars, I would 100% say go to make it automated, because at that point you're just driving traffic. But you need to know that it works. Like your front end is gonna be like this. They're gonna come in. You're gonna play the replay of the webinar. You're gonna cut out the Q&A, and then at the end of it, they get extended to these links, these email nurturing sequences, and that's gonna close the sale for you. And then that way, you're not even doing nothing. That webinar is printing money. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Chandra, if you have any questions, DM your boy. I'm gonna see you tomorrow anyway. It's been another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. Imperfect Action Con is coming up August 20th, 19th and 20th. You don't want to miss this. Tickets start at $249. GA, VIP, and Super VIP over 2 days. Some amazing speakers, content, collaboration, credit, technology. I'm super excited about this. So if you guys want to come, there will be a link below for you to grab tickets. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It's been another episode of the Imperfect Action Show.